In this episode, we will talk about the gods in the Old Norse mythology, the gods whom the Viking Age people in Scandinavia believed in. In the family trees, there are many constellations and different family groups of gods. Today's focus will be on some of the more active gods in these very exciting and adventurous stories about their lives. Aesir are the gods of the principal pantheon in this world. The second pantheon is called the Vanir. And after a war between the two groups, the Vanir became a subgroup of the Aesir. Some other groups in this world are the giants and giantesses, but they live in the outskirts, in the periphery of this world. It's called Jotunheimen. The mightiest of gods in the Aesir pantheon is Odin. He was the son of Bor, the grandson of Bori. He was the god of warfare, knowledge, power, and poetry. He had one eye, he had a long beard, he had a spear, Gungnir. He had two ravens, Hugin and Munin. They flew out every day and came back with news from Midgard. He had an 8-legged horse, Sleipnir, on which he rides over the sky. He hung himself for 9 days to obtain the knowledge of runes. He sacrificed his eye to Mimir to receive the gift of poetry. He ruled over the battlefield. He gets half of the slain bodies. Freya and the Valkyries get the other half. Odin will be swallowed by the Fenris wolf in Ragnarök. Wednesday is Odin's day. The W, the first letter in the word, is now lost in the modern Scandinavian languages, in which the first letter in this day is an O. Frig, wife to Odin, mother to Heimod, Höd, and Balder. She was famous for foresight, wisdom, and prophecy. She grieved over her dead son Balder, and later she grieved again when she learned about her husband, Odin's destiny. The name Friday is connected to Frigg or Freya. Jord, the giantess or earth goddess, was also wife of Odin, the mother of Thor, Odin's first son. Thor, the god of thunder and lightning. He had red hair and beard. He was extremely strong, and he was fighting against monsters to help the humans. He had Mjölnir, a magical hammer, and he had 2 goats, Tangrisnir and Tangnjöster. Thor dies in Ragnarök by the Midgard serpent's venom. Thursday is his day. Thor's hammer is nowadays an image used by many neo-pagans. Balder, Thor's half-brother, he was very beautiful and invincible, and his name means brave, lord, or prince. He was married to Nanna. He was the father to Forseti. And the seeress, she says in her prophecy, I saw for Balder, the bleeding god, the son of Odin, his destiny set. Famous and fair in the lofty fields, full grown in strength, the mistletoe stood. Loki tricks Höd, who is blind, into killing Balder by shooting a mistletoe at Balder, who is invincible. Höd is also a son of Odin. This means we have a brother killing a brother, one of the signs of Ragnarök approaching. Balder ends up in Niflheim, guarded by Hel. Balder will survive Ragnarök. Tyr, a friend of Thor, he helps him during a number of adventures, and he sacrifices his arm to Fenrir, while the gods then have time to bind Fenrir, who eventually will kill Odin. The monstrous dog Garm is said to consume Tyr during Ragnarök. Tuesday is Tyr's day. Heimdall or Rig, a god with 2 names. He possesses Gjallarhorn, which will announce the approaching Ragnarök. He is famous for being well-dressed. He's the son of the 9 mothers or waves, the daughters of Ran and Aegir. He possesses foresight, keeps watch for invaders and signs of the approaching of Ragnarök. In the Lay of Rig, there is a mentioning of the social classes. When Heimdall, also known as Rig, walks around on earth, he stays with 3 different families. With Edda, the hostess in the first family, he has a son, Thrall. With Amma, the hostess in the second family, he has a son, Karl. And with the hostess in the third family, Modir, he has a son, Earl. And the meaning of thrall is slave. The meaning of carl, a free farmer, and the meaning of earl, that's an aristocratic title. Heimdall and Loki will kill each other in Ragnarök. Loki, he's loosely belonging to the Aesir gods. He has 2 sons with Sigyn. He has 3 children with Angerboda, a giantess, Hel, Fenrir, and the Midgard serpent. Loki is a shapeshifter, and as a mare, a female, he's the mother to Sleipnir, who is fathered by Svadilfari. Sometimes he assists the gods, and sometimes he works against them. He's a trickster. He orchestrated the death of Balder by luring Hö to shoot the mistletoe, and he makes it impossible for Balder to be let out from Niflheim, which is guarded by Hel. He kidnaps Idun, and is killed by Heimdall in Ragnarök. Idun, the goddess of youth, associated with apples and eternal youthfulness. The apples are kept in a wooden box made of ash. When the gods start to feel old, they come to her to take a bite of an apple to regain youth and health. She was married to Bragi. The other group of gods, the Vanir, are associated with health, fertility, wisdom, and the ability to see into the future. The Vanir eventually became a subgroup to the Aesir. Njörd and his children, Freya and Frey, are the most known gods in this group. Freya, which means lady in Old Norse. She was the goddess of fertility, sex, war, gold, to mention a few things. She rides a chariot driven by 2 cats, owns the necklace Brisingamen and the cloak of falcon feathers. By her husband Odin, she is the mother of 2 daughters, Nos and Gersemi. The family members seem to be absent a lot. She is taking part of many adventures with the Aesir gods. She rules over her heavenly field, Folkvangr, where she receives and keeps half of the slain warriors. The other half goes to Odin. Debated is if Frig and Freya derive from the same goddess, and Friday is her day. Frey, Freya's twin brother. He's the god of virility, peace, prosperity, with sunshine and fair weather, and with good harvest. He rides the shining dwarf-maned boar Gullimbursti. Frey falls in love with the giant Gerd and eventually marries her, but first he has to give up his sword, which fights on its own. Without the sword, Surt defeats Frey in Ragnarök. This was a brief summary of some of the most important gods in the Old Norse mythology. Of course, there are many more, but these are the ones I prefer to bring up in my classes because of their ability to bring the plot forward in these exciting stories. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode.